And first at 5, breaking news tonight in Hartford. Police are investigating after 3 people were shot.
Well, as you guys just said, we learned that Hartford police confirmed that 3 shooting victims arrived here at the Hartford Hospital emergency room. Now, as you can see behind me, there's still some police cars here, and we do not currently know the extent of their injuries, but as we continue to learn more, we will keep you updated on and off air at fox61.com. And my thoughts and prayers are with these victims.
You know, each one of these officers back here have been in law enforcement for a long time, and there are some events, some cases, some incidents that follow you throughout your life. And I can tell you now, this will be one of those incidents. This is a sad day for us.
There's 4 people sat in a car on New Britain Avenue alongside Thomas J. Hyland Memorial Park in Hartford, Connecticut. They were met with a hail of bullets in broad daylight on a very busy street. As fear and panic set in, there was no time to get to safety because of the semi-automatic weapon that was tearing through the car. Once the suspects fled the area, the driver of the bullet-riddled car would rush to Hartford Hospital that was less than 2 miles down the road. When the car pulled up to the emergency room, panic took over, and staff quickly contacted the authorities to let them know that a vehicle had just arrived with multiple victims of gunfire. 20-year-old Jessiah Mercado had just become a mother for the second time to her second son in the summer of 2024. At only 20, life had given her a tough road to go down, but it seemed that no matter the obstacle, she would find a way through it. Jessiah was described as an intelligent, loving person who was beautiful on the inside and out. Though things were not always easy for her, she was said to be doing the best she could with the cards she was dealt. At some point in the year of 2023, she needed to relocate from Hartford for her safety, and a crime intervention program would move her to get her to a safe location. Mostly all of the details were hidden as to why she needed protection, but it was definitely clear that her life was in some sort of danger. During the time she was safely placed in another state is when she gave birth to her second son, who she named Messiah. At some point after the birth of her son Messiah, she lost custody of him, and he was placed into the foster care system under the supervision of the Massachusetts Department of Children and Family Services. Again, the details were kept private in this case, and it was not clear if Jessiah had any visitation rights. Despite that, ended up with the baby on November 18, 2024, out of the state in her hometown of Hartford, Connecticut. On that Tuesday, Jessiah, baby Messiah, another man in his 20s, and one more person were all together inside a vehicle on the 300 block of New Britain Avenue. At about 2:45 p.m., a car pulled up to the side of them, and multiple shots were fired inside the vehicle. By the time the shooter left, everyone had been hit in the car besides the driver, who quickly rushed to the hospital that was not too far away.
Dominic Leonard was at Hartford Hospital when he witnessed the chaotic and heart-wrenching situation unfold.
I heard someone towards the entrance of the hospital yell, "Baby." There was a car that was pulled up, a lot of commotion. Noticed a lot of medical teams responding and alarms going off, and they were rushing what appeared to be a baby with the med team performing basic life support on the baby.
Hartford police were notified and quickly surrounded the emergency room, but tragically Jessiah and Messiah were pronounced unalive on arrival, while the other guy's injuries were not life-threatening. Investigators knew early on whoever committed this crime needed to be found soon because of their brazen disregard for life. News outlets and other reporters jumped on the case and put a bee on the lookout for 24-year-old Lance Morales. Within less than 24 hours after the crime, detectives found who they believed was the suspect.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I want to first offer my condolences to the family of Jessiah and Messiah, a mother who lost her life yesterday, along with her 4-month-old child. We have secured a search warrant, arrest warrant, that is, but the individual's name is Lance Morales, born 6/16, 2001. This individual is 23 years old. He is wanted for multiple charges with a $3 million bond. I want to say this. So his AKA also is Macho. That's his AKA. So I want to talk to Lance right now. Lance, you have no other option but to hand yourself in to the Hartford Police Department for the horrific crimes that you have done. After this press conference, Lance, I want you to pick up the phone and hand yourself into this department. Because if you do not, I promise you, and I make good on my promises, that you will be apprehended, and I will use all resources to apprehend you. State, federal, and all the partners that I have. You have that promise from me. This incident was a personal dispute that ended up in Hartford and resulted in the death of 2 individuals.
This is our suspect. Okay, I'm going to send everyone a copy of this in your email. Lance Morales, date of birth June 16th, 2001, 23 years old. Last known address in Waterbury, Connecticut. Goes by the name of Macho as well. So, the motive, we believe at this point, is a dispute over a vehicle.
The news continued to spread from that point, and Lance's face was plastered everywhere. In the midst of looking for the alleged perp, some people online were hoping for street justice, while others who loved him said that he was innocent until proven guilty. For the city of Hartford and the surrounding area, it was all hands on deck to find the 23-year-old Lance.
And on the loose has been identified by police. He's accused of opening fire on a car yesterday, killing a young mother and her 4-month-old son.
Police say this is the man they're searching for right now. Last seen in a white Infiniti and considered armed and dangerous.
Detectives have worked around the clock the last 24 hours, piecing this tragedy together. They believe this was all a fight over a vehicle. The search is on for this man, 23-year-old Lance Morales of Waterbury, also known as Macho, the accused gunman who took the lives of 20-year-old Jessiah Mercado and 4-month-old baby Messiah Diaz in Hartford Tuesday. The drive-by shooting playing out in broad daylight on New Britain Avenue. Police say Mercado was Morales' intended target. A man in his 20s was also injured. Mercado and her baby recently moved to Springfield to escape this type of violence, according to the Violence Intervention Program for Young Mothers that she'd been a part of since 2021.
Just having known Jessiah, knowing how much she fiercely tried to fight for a better life for herself, how much she inspired other participants to speak up for themselves, it was a shock to us and to our team and to our other participants and to the community.
Looking into his background, he had recently been released from jail earlier this year after serving several years of a 10-year sentence and is currently on probation. That is just one situation in the long criminal history at such a young age. He also had other pending felony cases that he was out on bond for. While out, it is also alleged that Lance was running an illegal car business from his home in Waterbury, Connecticut, where he rented out different cars. So when authorities spoke on a person's dispute over a vehicle between Jessiah and Lance, it was most likely about one of his illegal rentals. While he remained on the run, police found the car he used in the crime at his home 4 days later in Waterbury. By that next day, Lance was finally captured in Puerto Rico, where he had quickly fled to before he was plastered all over as a wanted man. Once the federal marshals caught up with him, his gig was finally up.
This has been a story we've been following for the past few days, and now Hartford police say the man they believe is responsible for these 2 deaths has been arrested out of state. Now, Hartford police say U.S. Marshals arrested 23-year-old Lance Morales in Puerto Rico at a home in Fajardo.
If you commit a heinous act in the city of Hartford, even if you try to flee the state, we will find you and we will bring you to justice.
After this very sad crime took place, authorities are launching an investigation as to how Messiah ended up in Connecticut with his biological mother. A child welfare agency spokesman said they were conducting an investigation in collaboration with law enforcement as well. The agency declined to provide more information, citing the ongoing investigation and state and federal privacy laws. It wasn't clear whether Jessiah conducted a custodial napping of Messiah or whether she had the foster parents' permission to take the baby out of state. The only thing that is known is that a mother and child lost their lives in the most heinous way, and both of them did not deserve it. Authorities also made it clear that the crime had nothing to do with why she was placed in safety program in Massachusetts just a year ago. It definitely makes the situation more heartbreaking that little Messiah was not even in the care of his mother. And from the sound of things, he should have never been in Hartford. He was the most innocent in all of this, and someone has to answer why he was put in that situation if he was already in foster care in another state. Loved ones who know Lance well believe that there is more to the story and express that he was raised right and he is not a monster that he is being made out to be. Some even say, free him. But detectives are sure they got the right person, and the crime happened in broad daylight, with many cameras in the area capturing the crime. Lance was formally charged as a fugitive from justice and is being held on a $3 million bond while awaiting extradition. He will be charged with 2 counts of unaliving, first-degree harm, criminal possession of a firearm, criminal attempt to commit first-degree harm, and the demise of a person with special circumstances. A loved one of Jessiah said that if you had the pleasure of knowing her, you know she was the strongest young woman who did not always have life easy, and that Messiah brought so much joy to Jessiah, and there was no doubt that heaven had just become more beautiful with both of them there. Jessiah is survived by many loved ones and most importantly, her older son, who was such a big part of her world. This crime should have never happened, especially over an alleged car dispute. My hope is that full justice will be served in this case in the near future and that the family can find some kind of peace, knowing that the alleged perp is behind bars. My thoughts and prayers go out to all who knew and loved both Jessiah and Messiah, and both of their lives truly mattered. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke, things change quickly.